Hello everyone, welcome to KPIAS UPSC Universe. I am Sowjanya. I am the Faculty of Current Affairs, and in this video we are going to discuss one important article from today's The Hindu newspaper, that is 23rd of June 2023. So here our article is Medicines Patent Pool Deal to Make Cancer Drug Cheaper. So the source for this particular article is The Hindu, page 14. So coming to why is it in news? In a move that will make certain cancer drugs more accessible and cheaper for patients, Medicines Patent Pool MPP, it has signed a sub-license agreement with India-based companies, right? So with this particular agreement that was signed, some of the cancer drugs, they are going to be more cheaper and also more accessible. So we'll look at it how this will happen, and also we'll look at the background of this MPP. So what is this MPP? So we'll also discuss about this Medicines Patent Pool, right? So UPSC syllabus relevance. So coming to the syllabus relevance, as we know, it comes under for our prelims under science and technology. So this generic versions of drugs, patents, intellectual property rights, these are some of the important concepts for us from examination point of view. So you have to definitely go through the basics of patents, IPRs, etc. And coming to mains, it comes under our General Studies, Paper 3, Technology, Awareness in the fields of IT, and also here we have the point issues relating to intellectual property rights, IPR, right? And here the important concept in this particular article is Medicines Patent Pool, that is MPP. So we are going to discuss this particular concept in detail. And coming to our prelims PYQ exercise, in the year 2019 we had a particular question in this way. So that is regarding our RNA interference technology, right? So it has gained popularity in the past few years. So there was a question in 2019 regarding this RNA interference technology. So these were the statements that were given, right? So here the correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 4, because this was used for gene silencing therapies. So in the treatment of diseases, this gene silencing therapies, it refers to genetic engineering wherein some of the genes are silenced, right? So it indicates gene silencing therapies. So whatever genes is creating a problem for a disease, right? So if it is leading to a disease, those genes are silenced, they are suppressed. So that is our gene silencing therapy, and this can be used in developing therapies for treatment of cancer, and also it can be used to produce crop plants that are resistant to viral pathogens. So these are the three statements which are correct. And coming to our today's prelims practice question. So based on the previous year question, so here we have one practice question for prelims. So that is, consider the following statements about nilotinib which was in news recently. So if you have gone through this particular article, there was a drug that was mentioned. So you can also expect a question on the name of this particular drug. So the statement that we have is, the drug is used for the treatment of chronic myeloid leukemia. So as far as our general science is concerned, under the syllabus of UPSC, we have to know some details of various diseases, like we have viral diseases, bacterial diseases, right? Diseases for plants and for humans, different types of diseases, why are they caused, what are the symptoms, right? So these are the things that we have to know. For example, TB, cholera, right, and also cancer. And since this cancer drug is in news, you have to also know about the disease called as cancer, right? So here our second statement is chronic myeloid leukemia. It's a tumor of plasma cells, and here you have to be careful. The question is regarding the incorrect statements. So you have to identify the incorrect statements over here. So here the incorrect statement is 2. So we'll look at it why. So as we have seen, this drug nilotinib, right? So this is used for the treatment of chronic myeloid leukemia. Yes, but it's a type of blood cancer. So this leukemia, it's basically a type of blood cancer, right? And then this affects our leukocytes. So these leukocytes, they are also known as white blood cells or WBCs, and it affects WBCs and also bone marrow, right? So this condition, it generally occurs when the body produces an excess of abnormal WBCs. So generally for a healthy human body, whatever is the number of WBCs production that is needed, if there is an excess production of abnormal WBCs, that will lead to a condition known as chronic myeloid leukemia. So this is one type of blood cancer, and for this a particular drug called as nilotinib, this is used to cure this particular to treat this particular condition, right? And coming to this leukemia, since it was in news, you have to know a brief background of it. So basically there are four main types of leukemia, that is acute myeloid leukemia, and we have acute lymphoblastic leukemia, chronic myeloid leukemia, which is mentioned in our article today, and chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And whatever we have seen in option B, a tumor of plasma cells, that is known as myeloma, right? So this myeloma, it's basically a tumor of plasma cells. So they are white blood cells that generate disease fighting antibodies, right? So they basically generate disease fighting antibodies. So when our body is attacked by some disease, they'll produce antibodies which fight against that disease. But if that antibodies producing capacity, if that is affected, it will lead to weakening of our immune system, right? So if your immune system is strong, we can fight that particular disease, but if our immune system is weakened, it will be difficult to fight a particular disease. So this particular cancer called as myeloma, it will affect that particular capacity of our body to produce antibodies which fight against any disease. So what will happen? That will lead to the prevention of production of antibodies. So when our body produces antibodies, it will fight against the diseases, but this particular cancer, it will prevent the production of that antibodies. So that will lead to weakening of our immune system. So then what will happen is our body, it will be prone to infection and other types of diseases. So this is what is you have to know regarding this particular question. So we have seen regarding the prelims previous year question and also an expected question for prelims. And coming to our mains previous year question, so here we had a question already in the year 2013, that is, bring out the circumstances in 2005 which forced amendment to section 3D in the Indian Patent Law 1970. So you have to also go through the background of and the significant features of this Indian Patent Law 1970. So it actually came into effect from 1972, right? And discuss how it has been utilized by Supreme Court in its judgment rejecting Novartis patent application for Glivec. So discuss briefly the pros and cons of the decision. So at that time, in that year, there was a decision or a judgment given by the Supreme Court. So a question was asked in mains regarding the pros and cons of that particular judgment, right? So based on this, we had a mains practice question, that is, describe the concept of evergreening of patents in the light of the judgment of Supreme Court on evergreening. So in the year 2013, whatever judgment was given by the Supreme Court in the Novartis versus Union of India case, so based on that judgment, keeping it as a background, you have to explain the concept of evergreening of patents and also what is the implication of evergreening of patents, right? So basically, what is evergreening of patents? So generally a patent, it will be for example, if you take a drug, its patent will be valid for 20 years. So when you are in the 19th year, when it is about to expire, when the patent is about to expire, then the company comes up with small modifications in the same drug and it will come and apply for a new patent for that drug, right? So in that way, when the patent is about to expire, they are coming up with a small change or a small modification, and then they are coming up with a application of new patent. So that will be extended for another 20 years. So in that way, they are continuing that patents, right? So that is what is the concept of evergreening of patents. So what will be the effect on common people by the evergreening of patents? So that is what you have to clearly explain in this answer, right? So if you look at the most effect on the common people regarding the evergreening of patents, if there is a patent, the cost of that particular medicine will be higher, and if the patent expires, for example, for the all these years of 20 years when the patent is applicable, the cost of the medicine would be higher, and once the patent has expired, that particular cost, it will drastically come down, right? So what will happen? It will affect the income of that pharmaceutical company. So what that pharma company does, it comes up with a small modification and it applies for a new patent. So this is what is the effect on the pharma company and the effect on common people regarding evergreening of patents, right? And regarding the judgment that was given by the Supreme Court has said that if there is a very minor modification in the drug, then we cannot go for a new patent, right? So evergreening of patents, it could not be done. As far as our Indian Patent Law 1970 is concerned, our act, it does not encourage evergreening of patents, as well as our judgment of Supreme Court. So this is a brief about how you have to write your mains practice question. So coming to a detailed explanation of important concepts. So here you can see our concept is medicines patent pool. So this is one more concept that is mentioned in the article of today. So coming to this MPP, so it is basically a United Nations backed public health organization which is working to increase access to and facilitate the development of life-saving medicines for low and middle income countries. So especially for low and middle income countries, the main objective is to increase the access to these drugs, right? So those low and middle income countries which are not able to access the life-saving medicines, because of which it is affecting its population. So especially for those countries, this MPP, it is working to increase the access of life-saving medicines to these countries, right? And also through its innovation business model, MPP partners with civil society, governments and international organizations so that it will encourage generic manufacture of drugs, so that the accessibility of these drugs, which are life-saving drugs for the people, it will be increased. So when this access will be increased to this low and middle income countries. And it is a UN backed organization, and do remember it was established back in 2010. So since MPP is in news, you have to know the background of this, and its vision is that non-exclusive voluntary licensing through a public health agency, it would enable more people in this LMICs, that is low and middle income countries, to access affordable treatments. As we have seen, its main objective is to increase accessibility of life-saving drugs, and also it is encouraging the generic manufacture of these drugs. So when this generic manufacture of these drugs is increased, it will access the affordability of these drugs to especially low and middle income countries, right? And it has also succeeded in revolutionizing these particular essential treatments. And this UNTIAD, it's a global health agency which is engaged in finding innovative solutions to prevent, diagnose and treat the diseases. So we have to first of all try to prevent that disease. If that disease occurs, we have to diagnose that and treat it properly. So this is what should be done, and this should be done quickly, cheaply and also effectively, especially in the low and middle income countries, right? So this is what you have to remember regarding this, and this is hosted by our World Health Organization, WHO. So this is majorly focused on the low and middle income countries and their access to life-saving medicines. So these are the points that you have to remember regarding this MPP, that is medicine patent pool, and also regarding the drug we have discussed, and also evergreening of patents. So this is all about this article in the Hindu today. Hope you have liked this video. Thank you.